Okay, what I want to do is I want to talk about the difference between the big green dot. There is a big green dot when you go to set an alert on your indicator. Okay, there is a big green dot and a small green dot. So the big green dots, okay, are the most bullish. They are the best signal you can get in regards to technical analysis and buying. And then there are the small green dots. So what I'm doing is I'm adding this into the channel, the daily big green dot alerts. So right now, how the alerts are set up, you can see we just call out the weekly greens and the reds, because again, green means buy, red means sell. It's really that simple. Okay, so with that being said, okay, those are the small green dots. These are just small green dots because again, the dots don't come on the weekly charts very much, guys. Okay, they don't come they come like every 2 or 3 months sometimes it takes. Okay, but the daily big green dot will actually come before we get the weekly dot. Okay, and you're seeing it on Ethereum right now. So the big green dot is when there is a dot down here. You guys can probably not see that very well, but there is a dot right here on my screen, and there's also one right here on my screen. They are very, very small and hard to see. Let me actually pull up one of ICP. Okay, ICP, you can see there's a big one right there. That's because we had divergence there. And then we have this lighter shade down here. You can see on these green dots back here, there was no dot down here. So that is considered a big green dot on the daily chart. Those normally come before the weekly dot. So the weekly dots are literally the most bullish, okay? But also the daily dots are ones I'm going to experiment on moving forward here, and these are going to be called out in the alerts as well. So again, you're still going to get the weekly signals over here. Again, the weekly signal is probably the most bullish for the macro investor, but the daily big green dots, not the small green dots, only the one that has the big green dots are going to be called out. So this one wouldn't have been called out. 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 This is the only one that's going to get called out over here on the daily chart. The big green dots, they are considered the trigger wave. The trigger wave, meaning that is the low. That is the bottom. Okay, and if this trend continues, that was pretty accurate back there on Bitcoin. It told you to buy it right there at 59 or 60. So we'll see if this breakout is for real. Again, the trade is 60K. So again, the big green dots on the daily charts, again, I got to go through and set all these up because there's a bunch of them going off, but Ethereum is now showing one. And again, these will normally come before you get the weekly dot. So it's important to understand where this dot is because that's where you could set your stop loss, right? So the stop loss on Bitcoin is at the bottom of the big green dot on the daily chart right there at 58K. Okay, at the bottom of that candle that we got the dot on. Okay, so if you're using the daily big green dots, that's how to set a stop loss. You set it at the bottom of the candle. You got the daily big green dot on. So as long as that holds, we are bullish. Okay, we are bullish on the name. So I'm going to call the true stop loss 58K here on Bitcoin. As long as that holds, I'm bullish. I'm bullish, and the confirmation of us going higher is going to be the green dot, the green dot on the weekly. And again, these are just the small ones. I'm bullish on any weekly dot that comes out. And as soon as we get the green weekly dot, that is when you can set your macro stop loss. Okay, your macro stop loss. Like right now, we don't even have a stop loss on the weekly. But because I'm looking at the daily and where the big green dot, okay, that's called the trigger wave where you get the big green dot. And again, if you want to set an alert, you just hit right click on the indicator, hit the add alert, and just set this. I do once per bar. You then get an email and things like that when it comes. Okay, there's a bunch of different ways to get it. I get it inside the app. I get the email, and I also punch it over there to the Discord channel. So I just wanted to update you guys. But you see these big green dots on the daily chart? Okay, they are buy signals, just like the green ones over here on the weekly. So they always give you a level to use to trade because, again, if you're taking a trade on Bitcoin right now, your risk to the downside is only 7%. 7% off of using a stop loss at that level. That's how much you're risking. I mean, that's very, very low. I don't like to risk more than 15% on any trade, okay, on any trade. So I hope you guys understand it. If not, hit me over in the Discord. I'll try to explain it more, but I just want you guys to know, pay attention, right? The weekly green dots are going to be called out, and also the big green dots on the daily chart will be called out. So you got weekly and daily signals. Now, again, the dailies are only calling out the big ones, okay? The big ones, these ones down here. Okay, and again, we still want to take into consideration on the daily if we're in an uptrend, right? Are we above our 50-week? The daily chart, I like to use the 200. That's very common on a daily chart, the 200 EMA. That's the dark blue line on a daily. Okay, that's about the 6-month average. Okay, you think about 2 years or 200 days, that's about just under 6 months. Okay, and then the 50-week moving average. So if you're using a 50 EMA on a weekly chart, that's the yearly moving average. So those are the two EMAs I like to pay attention to the most. Again, different time frames, different signals, but you got to understand it all maps together. Each one of these weekly bars is really just seven of these candles into one. Okay, 7 candles forming into one candle. So it's they call it candlestick math. If you guys are having a hard time understanding it, go look up candlestick math on YouTube and you can get some more information about it. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into your guys' chart requests here.